moin. And in the Netherlands we say goedemorgen. And you'll all understand it. But I heard that Afrikaans is Belgium. Belgium is Flemish. Flemish is Dutch. So we're back. Okay, let's start. If I'm going to challenge you to walk with me through the Fish River Canyon, 90 kilometers, in only 3 days' time, who is going to join me? Thank you. 4 days. Okay. I'm asking because in 2014 I walked the Camino, known here as the Jacobsweg. It's in the north of Spain. It's a pilgrimage. It's a pilgrimage from Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port to Santiago de Compostela. So I walked the pilgrimage that millions have done already. And why do we do this walk? Because it's 820 kilometers. I walked it in 28 days. That's not the best ever. I think 22, 21 days is possible. Make a count. It's hard. And if you want to see where it is, well, I wanted to add something in Namibia in as well. From Walvisbaai to Windhoek, but that is only 400 kilometers. So that's not a real walk for us. That's just a starter. But you see some, and I'm going to walk from Nice to Paris. I'm going to walk from Switzerland to Rome, because Rome is of course the pilgrimage city. But why am I walking these distances? Well, I must tell you that the first time I wanted to walk this far, I thought I will find the why of my life. I was 55, I didn't have a midlife crisis. I was just fed up with the rat race. We were doing so many stupid things. We all have a not so smart phone. Because when it is smart, it would turn off automatically. It isn't. It's keeping us awake the whole night. Someone tried to call me this night at 1:30. Namibian time. In the Netherlands it's 12:30 early in the morning. So insane, and it was a private. So someone tried to sell me something. I will ask Andy whether he was it, because he is Andy Sales. So he tried to sell me something this morning very early. But I had my phone off. I'm one of the lucky people who know now that it's better to take your rest. It's better to know what you love. And I don't care why you're having, and we all know Simon Sinek. And we all know the why, the how, and the what. And do we really do that as businesses or as persons? Do we really know what we stand for? Do we really know what our core values was? And Koen said it already. I love the term non-negotiables. Because it's something I can't negotiate about ever. It's that basis, it's that fundament in my life that I have to follow. Whatever. And I wanted to walk the Camino to find out what my way was. I wanted to find the reason why I do what I do every day, and to find the basis. And then when you walk the Camino, you'll find this kind of roads. And you have no clue where it leads. You can't see the end of the road. Like here in Namibia you can see a lot of roads. Try it in the Netherlands. There are always houses standing in front of your picture. So the reason for me to walk the Camino was to find my non-negotiables. And I did. I found some of them, but I must say that was after I finished in Santiago de Compostela. Because during the walk you don't think anymore. When you walk more than 2 hours a day, your brain shuts off. And you're just walking. And there is only one purpose, it is to put one foot in front of the other. And then you go. And you'll find your non-negotiables. This is what I created because I work with a lot of scientists and professors, and they have the job demand resources model, and they have all kind of models to tell us how to find enough energy to do our job. And then I said, well, it's not about finding energy, it's about finding your core values. So what I want to talk about with you is about finding your own core values, and I will show you 7 steps how you can be helped to do so, but we do this in companies as well. So that's always nice. Then how to charge your battery. We all know the term burned out. Some suffer from it, others can prevent it. And I know it's not something you can prevent easily, it's hard work, and sometimes it just happens to you. And for companies, I want to talk about profitability, the connection between value to profit. To know what your core values are as an individual and as a company, and find out the profit you will gain. And that's not only money, it's much more than that. So let's start with the core values. We can all name words like integrity, relationship. I don't mind which word you're taking, but I would ask you to make a sentence out of it. For me, the most important is my family is my central focus. Others will say my family come first. When I say that to my wife, she won't believe me, because I'm traveling all over the world. So she will say, yeah, okay, fine. But I made that decision to travel around the world while my children were grown up and were out of the house. And my wife said, do what you love to do. Go travel. Talk to the people all over the world. So core values are very important. The second one for me is fun is a fundament. I'm not going to be on stage if I don't like it. And we do a lot of jobs that aren't making us happy. But hey, it's money. So we stick at the job we don't like because hey, it's money. I have a mortgage, I have children, I have a car, I want on holiday. I can tell you I made the decision in 2014 not to do a job I don't like anymore. Since then I have more jobs than ever. Funny. People recognize authenticity. They smell it. They know it that you're real. So sticking at the job you don't like will harm yourself and your company, your clients, or whatever. So finding your core values can be done in 7 steps. If you want an article, I'll send it to you. So then you can pay attention to the screen and to me, and I will send it all to you. First is allocate time. I was talking 2 weeks ago to the exco of a company in the Netherlands, and they wanted to find out their core values. They existed for 60 years. They didn't have core values. They had a mission statement, but they changed it every 2 or 3 years. When a new CEO came up, they had new mission statement. Yoo-hoo! People will understand it. So I said to them, well, you need to create time. He said, no, we can do it in one of our sessions on a Friday afternoon. I said, it's not going to work. He said, yeah, well, we'll do it that way. And I said, okay, do it, but without me. Because you need to allocate time. It will take a year, at least, for a company and a person to find your real core values. So take the time, go for a walk, do something else, take the peace to look inside yourself. Because you will need the time to find out what your dreams are. So what I like to do is to have brown paper on the wall, a white tablecloth, or whatever to write things down. You can have a small booklet. I have always a booklet with me, and I'm traveling and I write down words. Because then you collect it. Even when I'm asleep, I wake up, put some words on it, and think, okay, go to sleep. And the next day I look at those words, and it doesn't happen all the time. Lucky for me. But the point is that you need to find the time, you need to find something to write your things down, and you will focus on your dream. Who has a dream for the next 3 or 4 years? What do you want to become? Most of you. Great. Who has a dream for over 10 years where you want to stand? Amazing. The point is, when you look, we did research. A lot of children know exactly what they want to become when they grow up. I have a movie, I'm not going to show it today. You would understand it, it's in Dutch. But it is small children from the age of 4 to 18, and they know exactly what they want to become when they grow up. Maybe not realistic, but they all have a dream. And then you see a guy of 45 years sitting behind his computer, and he's been asked the same question. And he has no clue. He's 45. He's there. But where is he? Not living his dream. So find your dream. Find a focus in 10 years' time and then get back to the now. And you will find your dream, and you connect it to your dream, you can find words. Positive words. And that can be fun. That can be family. That can be integrity. And name those words connected to your dreams. And when you have done that, you will find at least 10 words that connect with your inner soul, with your brains, with your guts, whatever, but it's connected to you. Those words mean something to you. And then write those words into a sentence. Show your integrity in life. Family is my central focus. Fun is my fundament. Then you have 3 core values I use. And then when you know these lines, then talk to your peers. I did it with friends. Send them those lines. I said, well, I think these lines are very important to me. Do you see it the same way? Is this me? I did it, sent it to my customers, to 2 or 3 of them. Most people respond. Most people respond in a very mature way. I had a client from a big hotel chain, and she said, whoa, I read those lines and I instantly knew this is Paul. And I said, thank you. Because then I'm authentic when I am working with them. Then I am the real Paul that they know. And then I asked my wife and my children. That's the most difficult one. Because then you know, will I be married tomorrow still? And the children, well, you can't get rid of them, so they will stay. But your wife, your spouse is more important. And she said, okay, I can live with them. I said, okay, thank you very much. Still happy after 36 years. So it's just going on and knowing who you are. The point is then finalize your list. And then the most important part comes. Live your core values. That's the point. These are just steps. And most people know their core values. But they haven't written them down and checked them. So you should do it. Because when we're talking about authenticity, it needs to be you who is talking to the people. It needs to be you who knows, who stands for his core values, for your non-negotiables. And when you know them, you can find your way through life. And then the challenge begins. And you will think, what is this? Well, I love Italian food. So we have no real Dutch food. Yes, some stampot. But I love Italian food. I love to go to Italy every year, at least 2 or 3 times, pick the olives, make olive oil, drink a lot of wine. That's a good life. I went to an Italian restaurant close by in my hometown. And I wrote down a line. You can read this, but I'll translate this as well. This I posted on their Facebook page more than a year ago, in 2016. I was there with my Australian friend Lindsay Adams. We're having dinner, and I wrote this. Nice family restaurant with mum and son in the kitchen. Nice service with good Italian food. I gave them 5 stars. 5 out of 5. So it was more than just nice. It was good food. But hey, they're from Sicily, so you have to be careful. But then it happened. 3 months ago, really 3 months ago, in November, someone called at our door. We live in an apartment building, so I could check through the video who it was, and he said, I'm social security officer, police. I want to talk to you. Can I come up? And I thought, okay, no idea what it was, so I let him up. I'm a lawyer, so when the police come, you let them in. So he came up and he said, did you post this? I said, well, you have a copy of it. So, yeah, I posted it. He said, do you know what it says? I can read. He said, well, it says that mom and son were working in that restaurant, and I knew someone was doing something wrong. Someone was getting a social security allowance and working and not telling it. So they came to check with me whether I saw the family members work in that restaurant. And at that point, you have to make a decision. Will I tell the truth or not? Will I show my integrity in life or not? Am I scared for those Sicilian people, or will I tell the truth? I tell the truth as far as I know it. Because they showed a picture of Dad as well. And said, I haven't seen that man. And I think that's the point when they came. And I said, Mom, yeah, I saw her. She was working behind the bar, serving the drinks, and the sons and the daughter were serving the food in the restaurant. I told the truth. When you go to their website, to their Facebook page, this message, it's removed only 2 weeks ago. I wanted to show it live, but it isn't there anymore. So now I'm scared. Not really. So knowing your core values is sometimes hard work. Because when you know your core values, you know what you really stand for, and you want to be accountable for it. Because knowing core values and not being accountable for it, it doesn't work. So when you know your core values and you tell them to the people you work with, then they know what you stand for, and they will come back to you on this, and you will have a nice conversation. I'm talking to companies here, and I tell the same story, because there is so much difference between what people put on paper on the internet side of a company and the real behavior in daily life, daily routine. So you need to be aware of when you put your core values in writing on a website, people will hold you accountable for what you wrote. And they will confront you with it. And it should be. It should be in an open way, in a decent way, in a mature way, but you should be accountable for it. And a company I love very much doing this is Zappos. Who knows Zappos? They sell shoes. It's part of Amazon. But it started with a guy, Tony Shea, who sold his IT company, wanted to do something with IT and thought, well, let's sell shoes. He's a multi-billionaire now. But he has a nice company with 10 family core values. And I will name only the number one, that is deliver wow through service. They are powered by service. And when you want to deliver wow through service, you need to be approachable. Well, their telephone number is on the front page in big letters. You can scan it tonight. It will be there. And they used to have their core values on the left bottom. And they changed it. And I got mad at them. Because I wanted to see their core values. And they said, but so many people read our core values and connected us. Yeah, that's the reason. Because when I know your core values, I'm going to call you and make you accountable for what you say. But they do it. They select people on core values. When you want to work there, you put in your CV and it goes to the purchase department. No interest. Then they talk to you. HR is human relations. They talk to the people about core values. And after week 1, you get an envelope with $1,000. Do you want to stay? If you want to stay, they take the envelope back. If you want to leave, you can pick up the money and go. And they do it for 4 weeks. And at the end of week 4, they will say, here's $4,000. Do you want to stay or do you want to go? And if you want to stay, they take away the money. Damn! Less $4,000. You won't earn them again. But they say it's cheaper when you leave this company before you mess with our core values. That's amazing. And they do it still. They have 1,800 people working there. They still do the same procedure. You only can work there if you put your signature beneath the 10 core values and live up to them. So this is an amazing company, and you can go to their website and to YouTube and find the stories. It's amazing. Check it out. So we talked about core values, about non-negotiables. The point is, we have them as person, we have them as company. And then the interest part begins. Because when we have those, there needs to be alignment between the core values of the individual and those of the company. And that is what we see Zappos doing and other companies doing as well. But Zappos is the most popular one to talk about. So you need to have alignment between those two. Why? Because we know that you need energy to work. And we know that you will have personal energy and you will have job energy. This is the job demand resources model. Professor Arne Bakker is professor now at Joburg, so maybe he can come over the next time and I can ask him to perform here. That would be nice. Personal energy. Anyone who knows what it could be? Where does your own energy come from? Where is your energy? It's on the inside. It's how you live. It's about your personality. It's about your optimism. It's about coping style. It's about resilience. These are all factors that determine what your inner energy will be. So a lot of people go to work, have a lot of energy, and they come home and they're burned out that day. And we hope that they get enough energy to restart the next morning. So what we love to see is that your job will give you a lot of energy as well. And you can get energy from your work, and we call it the ABC. It's quite easy. It's autonomy. We all love to be in an autonomy situation. Not that you can decide everything, but you have the feeling that people will listen to you. So we have a lot of companies where professionals are working with clients, but they are never asked what we can approve. They are doing the work. So we have the pyramid, CEO, exco, middle management, working class. I turn it around. We have professionals. They are the ones who connect with clients. When I call a company, I get connected by a human being, not by an organization. Organizations don't exist. You talk to people, and when they have a bad day, woo, they lose a customer. When they are friendly, I will stay. Who's determining it? The person and the company. So autonomy is very important. Belonging, being part of a family, a team, a group, whatever. I work in companies in the Netherlands who deliver home care. And then people are working at 10 addresses a day and they never meet a colleague. And engagement goes down. Not because there is no autonomy. There is. Maybe more than they like. But there is no belonging. There is no connection. So we connect every Friday with all the people to exchange your feeling, your emotion, and your experiences. Belonging. And the third one is coaching. Coaching is so important to create this amount of energy. And this is what we did in the Netherlands for many years. You know, the hyacinths, the tulips, and the windmills. And in former days, this was more than enough to have energy. And now when we look good, we see that we need much more energy to survive in these days. So look at your energy resources, because you will need a lot of them. Be careful with what you're doing, spending your time. Who can see the difference between those two rucksacks? Not the color. It's not easy. It's the content. It's the job demands. It's what I need to do. And there will be a difference between 9 kilos and 11 kilos. The difference is 2 kilos. Is that much? No, it isn't. Well, it's a bag of sugar. And carry that for 820 miles extra. I can tell you, it makes a difference. After 10 days, I decided to get rid of 2 kilos from my backpack. And the walking was much easier. Only 2 kilos. And go to your job. Go to your business. There is a lot of things that are really a burden on us. The job demands are so big that we lose so much energy that we can't survive our job. And that's ridiculous. We have to be careful with what we're doing. So when you know your resources, when there is not enough to live up to your job demands, you will get a burnout. And this is what happened to people. And it has to do with resilience as well, because people with a high resilience, and we can measure it nowadays, it's nature, it's not nurture, it's nature, it's there all the time. We can help people to survive when they have a high resilience, but when they have a low resilience, we need to be much more careful with people, because the job demands will be too big, or they have a fully charged battery because they know exactly what to do. Resilience, I told you already, resilience can be worked on, because when you have your own resilience ready and you know exactly what it means, you can improve it and you can stabilize it. And you have to do less drinking, more sports, nice food. And recently people told us that doing fitness isn't good enough. You just have to walk 30 minutes a day. So maybe we could use that, because then your resilience goes up and you can do the job that you like to do. So for me, talking about authenticity is about talking about experience. And we talk a lot about customer experience. And Andy will go about sales and customer experience. And I would like to get more attention to employee experience. Richard Branson said, I don't take care of my customers. I only take care of my employees. They will take care of my customers. That is the nice way to work with your professionals. That's the way we should do it. And then we need to know the core values of the company, and we need to know the core values of the individuals. And we'll help the people to get alignment between those two. Because the difference between an engaged employee and a disengaged employee, any idea what the percentage of engaged employees in Namibia is? Gallup is doing research all over the world. Most of the time they show a garage, and you have people on it, and you have some people in front of it, and you have people at the back. And at the front, those people are the ones who are engaged. The ones on the garage are satisfied. They're quite happy. They get their money in time, they can work, go home, enjoy, and have a hobby which gives them real engagement. And you have people who are totally disengaged. And we would hope that they would leave the company, but they'd like to stay. What percentage is in front of the carriage? Any idea? 26%, 10%, 5%. It's always nice that you have that difference. The amount of people behind the carriage who are pulling it back or holding it, how big is it? 50, 60, 10% at the front, 60 at the back. We're not going forward, we're going backward. What they say about Southern Africa is 10% at the front, 40% behind the car, and the rest in the car. In the Netherlands, it's 10% in front of the car, 10% behind the car, and we are so satisfied. 80% on the car. We go to work in time, we leave in time, and we get the money in time. And that's what we like. In the US, in Australia, in Denmark, at the Philippines, 30 to 35% are in front of the car, 10% behind the car, the rest in the middle. When you have more people in front of the car, you have more engagement, and you will have more success as a country or as a company. So what we need to do is to take care of our employees because, and this is always nice for CEOs to know, because we're always working on cost reduction, but never on improvement of profitability for the people and for the company. Effectiveness goes up with 12%. New figures say even 16%. Productivity goes up with 18%. The difference between an engaged and a disengaged worker is 18%. In Sweden, they decided last week to go from a working day from 8 hours to 6 hours. They did research. Working 6 hours made the people more productive than working 8 hours. Happiness went up because they had more time to spend with the family. They are more productive. They don't waste time at the office. The first 4 hours they were working the most. And the last 2 hours, nothing. So they skipped it. And people are getting paid the same amount of money as working 8 hours. And they tried it for 2 years, and now it's a law that everyone in Sweden is going to work 6 hours. Don't go to Sweden. It's very expensive, I can tell you. Customer satisfaction goes up. So the employees are more engaged. The employees work better, work harder, are more productive, deliver better quality. So the customers are more satisfied. And the most important part is sick leave goes down. And maybe it isn't an issue here in Namibia. I see you know. I can tell you in the Netherlands it's a big issue. We have an average of 5% sick leave. We are paying for 12 years for people who are disabled. So we know what it costs. The point is 80% of all sick leave is not medical. It's something else. It has to do with engagement. It has to do with problems I have at home. And then I can't focus anymore on my work and I think, oh, let's stay home because I have complaints, psychological complaints or physical complaints even. So people aren't working. Sick leave goes down and the latest figures are 41% in 2016. You can check with Gallup, you will find the information. So what we saw is this. We saw that we could put pressure on sick leave and try to get those people back because then we will see this. And we will see a profit increase driven by cost reduction. And a lot of CEOs and ExCos love this because cost reduction will help us create profitability. Engaged people are more productive. Working 6 hours and delivering more because I'm engaged. So for me it's important to work hard, to focus on core values, to work on your non-negotiables, and you will find this road to go. So to recapture, for me it's important to know your non-negotiables as an individual and as a company. Because when I know my non-negotiables, I can, when I see a situation that's hard for me, I can look at the alternatives and I can make a decision. I can make a choice. For me, making a choice is the most important part of this story, because by making a choice you will find your route. And find your route means that you will be accountable and you can make your choice. Thank you very much.